Jamie and Gabriel, how did you come to this story, and what is something that surprised you going through the process?
Jamie and I come from the world of journalism. I used to work at the Washington Post, and Jamie was at USA Today. And we went on a RIAS fellowship, which was a cultural exchange for journalists between the US and Germany. And this was 2013, before we started documentary work. And my family history is a little bit complicated with Germany. I come from, one grandmother was a German Christian during the war, and the other one was a Holocaust survivor from Vienna. And so I was very focused with that kind of history going there for the first time. And what blew us away was the history of the divided Germany. And I think a lot of Americans, we don't learn a lot about divided Germany's history. We learned that Reagan told somebody to tear down the wall, and then David Hasselhoff danced on it. And the more we were able to learn, the more we became quite surprised. I think you asked what was the thing that surprised us along the way. When you first learn about the Stasi, you learn that they're spending billions of dollars of today's money and a lot of human capital to collect the same data that we give away for free every day. And they understood the value of that data, but we didn't. And I think at first we were really focused on the individual. Like, how's it going to affect the individual in society? And I think, thank God this took us 6 years to make, because we got an education on what does a fractured society look like, and how does one infected cell of a political body affect the whole. I think that what we've come to learn is that the resounding effects over time is a fractured reality. A society that can't. They're not debating how to interpret fact, they're debating what is fact. And that was probably terrifying.
And how are some of the choices that we're making today having long-term impacts, and how is that relating to the film as well?
Yeah, I think we don't know yet, right? We're giving up all of this data. It's easily and freely collected on a daily basis with the tiny computers we all hold in our pockets. And we don't know how that could now or another day be used, and we'll learn down the line how it has been and how it affects us. But what we hope this film makes everybody think of is a little bit more deeply about what we give away for free, and about how we might care about how that data is used, how we might care about the people who are using that data are checked or not checked. Is this just a free-for-all forever, and then one day we find ourselves in a situation that we perhaps don't want to be in and have no way out of? Or do we look at ourselves now and say there are things that we can do? Europe, because they have this background of oppression in the eastern and central parts of the continent, are leading the charge globally on trying to restrain the free capture and sharing of data. And the US are doing almost nothing. And I hope that it is a moment for us to think about not using these these cell phones in our pockets, they're incredible devices, but how that can ripple through history, and how generations later our kids might be dealing with the repercussions of it.
Yeah, I think the film and this kind of gives us a lot to think about, so thank you. To Gernot, there was quite a lot of footage, both interviews and then a lot of footage from the past as well. Can you just tell us a little bit about your process of going through the story and putting it together?
Yes, we had a very tight schedule to edit, so it was like speedy from the day one, I think, you can really say. And we had a great, for the archival stuff, we had a great archival producer who pre-selected a lot of material, and you guys also did that before I entered the project. Yeah, and then, the scenes that we saw, they were mostly already rough cut right after the shooting, so over the years of shooting the stuff, it got shrink down to all sizes, so to say. And then I got an assembly of those scenes in an order that could make sense. That was like my starting base. And the unusual thing with this edit was that normally I always watch the whole raw material, and this was just not possible this time. And I was really nervous, not working like I'm used to do. But Jamie said, if you need a word, if you need something, a thought from a protagonist, ask me, because I know it. I have it here, and I have it in my transcripts. And if you need an image, don't search for stuff. Don't waste time searching stuff. Gabe knows which images are where. So it was really a totally different way of working, and it worked. It was really a great experience.
Yeah, it sounds like it was built on a lot of collaboration and trust.
Trust was like a word. It was really big, of course, from
Yeah,
the
Gernot
beginning.
was like the artist who came in and shaped it at the end. Gabe and I come from the world of journalism, so we scrappily made this thing for 6 years. We had 2 kids in the interim. There's a reason it took us a minute to make it, you know? So by the time we brought Gernot in, we were like, let's go, you know? Like, let's make this thing. And he did a beautiful job. Yeah.
And to Peter and your husband, how does it feel to watch the film and seeing it all put together?
First of all, I'm completely overwhelmed. I'm happy and sad at the same moment, and I'm excited as well. So we are living in problematic times, and so we appreciate that you came along to see this film. But this film is, I think, also relevant because it talks about experiences from a dictatorship. And I hope, or this is actually the idea of films like this, that we appreciate the democracies in our countries even more. Although we all know in Germany the democracy is under pressure, and I think the same happens in the US at the very moment. And so we need to see films like this so we can learn from the dictatorship. And what impresses me actually the most, we have a 90 minutes film, and I think Harald brought us on one point. Every little child gets what is about democracy.
I just want to add some point. Democracy is built on trust, and I think the film shows when there is fear, trust doesn't function anymore in a proper way. And I have fear that the Western values in which I lived my whole lifetime is endangered in our times. I had the luck to grow up in a country, experience 2 dictatorships, but I grew up in a country with freedom. I was born in the western part of Germany, and I'm proud what we did in Germany, but we did it with the help of our friends who taught us democracy in the end of the Second World War. It were our allies, like the US. And I think we've learned our lesson well, and we should keep it in mind, everybody.
And maybe because we are living in problematic times, we have to enjoy the moment even more. And for me, the best and the most outcome of this film is the friendship to Jamie, Gabe, Gernot. This is, for me, the best ever.
Yeah. I think we have time for one question from the audience.
You can use the middle.
Yes.
Yes. For the filmmakers, I think it's amazing that you didn't have really a point of view, but allowed the audience to get their own point of view. It would have been so easy to cast everybody associated with the Stasi as evil, but you showed that there were nuances there, and that's very difficult. So congratulations on that. And for Peter, with respect towards the Stasi, or did they create them? And what from your experience can we learn to apply to the political situation in the U.S. today?
Oh gosh.
3 minutes of problems, but let's give it
Ago, what can we learn it? This film talks or gives an idea how a life in a country looks like, where free speech, for free media, free traveling even is not possible, and is forbidden even. And what can democracies like Germany or the US learn from it if you see little signs of lacks of this kind of thing? So they attack the media, they attack everything which our values, the free speech, free talks, and all the rest. And that should give us a warning. If things like this are showing up, then it is something on the wrong path. And it's hard to see the very moment when you can change something, but yeah, you have to be aware of this.
Thank you.
Excuse me, can I make one comment?
In very briefly, so it's 30 seconds, yes.
I live in Washington DC. I'm here with my wife for 35 years. I've been a target and a witness of exactly what's occurred here within our country. Under organized crime, where the government has not stepped up and done anything. I can go into detail with anybody that would like to speak with me after this, but I'm so proud and so happy that this story is being told. And so thank you so much. Thank you. I just want one thing.
To close out on a small moment, in the film, Peter, was this pivotal moment of you reading the document and changing your whole direction of your life. And can you just tell us a little bit about having the courage to take the jump to do something different, going back to school, and then ultimately being able to tell the story through as a historian?
It's less a question of courage, it's more the moment that I have to do it. So I run a dance school, I had my life, I had my income, and everything was, I will do it until the end of my life, and then suddenly I found out this thing with my brother, and I had to take a decision, and it was not the time to think, what can I live from, or what can I do professionally? So I just got rid of my dance school, moved to Berlin, and just started in researching. And to study, that was, to me, the family situation was very emotional. And to deal with this, I assumed it's a good idea to study history, because my family history is very much connected with the German history. And to study this, and from this point of view as a historian, to look on my family story, that helped me to deal with the also very emotional moments.
Thank you very much. And thank you everyone. I was just going to ask if anyone wants to find out more, where would they look? And if you have any other screenings at the festival, just tell them about it.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make a comment. One of the gentlemen who asked a question mentioned that we don't take a point of view. I think we have a point of view by showing you this film, and our point of view is that everybody is capable of good and bad. And if you can't see the other and see that somebody like Engelhardt, this man and I have been texting for 6 years now. He sends me pictures of his granddaughter and him skiing. He has good in him, and he has done horrible things. And it's important for all of us to understand how possible that is in all of us. And that's why we took the point of view that we took, so that you can see how complicated people are. If it would be so easy if we were all just black and white, if we were all just good people, and that's not the truth. So, if you want to know more about this history, Gabriel and I are giving a panel on Stasi's tactics and Cold War tactics in today. What's the title of it, actually? Yeah, something like that. You can look at the SPIES AMONG US.film and learn more. All of us here at the team have little QR codes in the back of our phones if you want to check out more about the film, check out the panel or any other screenings. And I want to take a quick call out to the team at the Jonathan Logan Family Foundation, one of our great supporters of the project who are all here in the audience to support us. And friends and family and our relatives and everybody who made this possible. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for the support of the film.
Awesome, thank you. And don't forget to put QR code on your way out, and also run with me. We only have 30 minutes, and please enjoy the rest of your festival. Thank you.